Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding this video or any other video that I've made in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. One of the primary goals of my YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine, so you can cook anything that you want. The end result is that you can eat healthy food, and this will allow you to avoid eating fast and ultra-processed food. Now, of course, the most important thing about home cooking is that you can eat food that are cooked from scratch using all fresh ingredients. But another thing that's equally important is that to eat a wide variety of food. Now, it's not only nutritionally that is important, but it's also very important from the flavor standpoint, because the more different kind of food that you can eat, the more likely you will find your meal interesting. And the more you can create variations and diversity, the greater it is for you to be able to eat on a regular basis, but never get bored. Now, in this video, I want to demonstrate to you how to make home cooking as varied as possible, and at the same time, to prepare dishes that with many different kinds of vegetables. Now, this is really important because it's not only nutritionally beneficial, but also make your food more interesting. Now, to create diversity of ingredients in your dish, creativity is actually the important part, and that is what makes home cooking really fun and fascinating. Now, in this dish, I'm going to cook a small amount of bacon, and the reason was very simple, because my wife loves bacon. But the key is that I'm not using bacon as a main ingredient. Instead of, I'm using it as a condiment. And this will allow me to add flavor to a dish. And sometimes you'll be surprised, a little bit of variation can create tremendous interest in the dish. And at the same time, it will make the dish much more flavorful. Now, a small amount of bacon actually can do the good job. Now, bacon has many attractive aspects to it, and many people like the bacon. Partly it's because of its saltiness and the fat that associated with it. But the one thing that people really like about bacon is that you can fry bacon in such a way and cause it to become crispy in texture. So anytime you have a bacon sandwich, you probably notice that it's the crispiness that really attracts the people who like bacons. For example, when you have a bacon hamburger, the bacon really adds a great deal. And this can apply the same thing when you cook a vegetable dish. A little bit of bacon can make the vegetable taste better, and it can go a long way. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to fry the bacon until it turns crispy. Now, the nice thing is that this fries the bacon really quick because I cut them up into small pieces, and this makes the cooking more efficient. And at the same time, it will not affect your diet that much, but it adds a lot of flavor. And this is what is important. If you're going to cook for yourself, you better make your dish taste good. In fact, you want it to taste so good that nobody else can do a better job than you can. And this is when you have made yourself become your own very best chef. And when that happens, then cooking becomes sustainable because there's no reason for you to eat out anymore because you can cook better than anybody else. Now, by now, the bacon is pretty much done. I'm going to set them aside. It took only about a minute or so. The next part is going to cook the vegetables. Now, this is where advanced prepping plays a critical role. Because with advanced prepping, it allows you to use many different kinds of vegetables to create a different assortment. Now, in this case, I use mainly broccoli as the main ingredients, which I put significant amount to it. But then I can also add some cauliflower. Now, the broccoli and cauliflower cooks about the same rate. But when I combine them both, it will make the dish much more interesting. And then I'm going to add what I call secondary ingredients, which I only add a small amount to mainly make the dish more interesting. And here I add some red cabbage that I've cut into small pieces. And this is followed by some shiitake mushroom. Now, this shiitake mushroom comes as a dehydrated form. So I have to soak it in water to hydrate it. And I can set it aside. And next, I'm going to add some green bean. Again, what I'm doing here is that I create a vegetable medley using different kind of vegetables. Now, at first hand, you might look at it, it seems random, but it's actually not at all. Okay, the next ingredients I'm going to add is some Chinese sausage. Again, I'm only adding a small quantity to it. So it's used as a condiment rather than as a main ingredient. The Chinese sausage will add flavor to the vegetables. And all of this by design. It's not randomly I took whatever I have in the refrigerator because I choose them in a way to create the type of flavor that I want. And of course, there are many possibilities. And this is what makes home cooking really fun and enjoyable. It's the ability for you to create many different combinations. Now, not only the selection of the different ingredients allow you to create a combination, but another very important factor is that by changing the ratio. In fact, you can cook the same dish by adjusting the ratio. For example, if you, instead of using broccoli as the main ingredient, which I choose in this particular dish, you can use cauliflower, or you can use green bean as the main ingredients, and you can use broccoli as a supplementary ingredient. And this will immediately change the characteristic of a dish. And for people who do not know what you are using, it will present to them as an entirely new dish. So by making small changes, you can tell you can make adjustments. Now at this point, I also add some minced garlic. Now all of this, another important part I want to emphasize is that when you cook a dish like this, it is the ingredients that govern the flavor of the dish. It is not the sauces. Ultimately, you still, at the end, notice that I will use sauce. But it is the combination of the ingredients because each of the vegetable have their distinct characteristics. And this is what makes the dish interesting. And this is what create the type of medley that will be uniquely guided to how you like it. Now at this point, you notice that what I do is that I have some of the ingredients burned to the surface of the wok. And actually one of the best and most convenient way to clean the wok is that while you're cooking, you can put a small amount of fluid. In this case, I use the water, I deposit directly over the area that has the burn material, and then I can use my wok spatula to scrape it off. And at the same time, I'm also steaming the vegetable. Now, the next ingredient I add is some tofu. Now, I love tofu and I particularly like fried tofu. Now, in the past, I used to fry my own tofu, but that takes a lot of work and quite often it did not turn out the way how I like it. But now I buy tofu that are already been fried. These are fried tofu which come in about the same size as a regular tofu, but it has been fried, therefore it's much smaller. And I cut it into chunks. The fried tofu add a great deal to that dish. So at this point, the dish is almost done. And I adding a little bit more water using my water bottle. I add a little bit at a time. What I'm trying to do is that to make sure that the vegetable is cooked to the texture that I want. And by adding the water, I basically steam the vegetable. And by now, the vegetable is almost, I would say, it's 80 to 90% done. I'm happy with the texture. I like them to be a little bit crunchy, so I do not want to overcoat them. And next, I'm going to flavor the dish with a small amount of oyster sauce. Now, this dish is already going to have a lot of flavor because of the different vegetables in it, as well as the Chinese sausage. And so it already has great flavor. However, I like to have a bit more saltier, so I add some oyster sauce. Again, I only add a very small amount. I want to use the oyster sauce just to enhance the flavor of the ingredients in the dish. I certainly do not want to overwhelm the natural flavor of the ingredients. At this point, flavor chasing comes in. I will do taste testing of the flavor of the dish, and I will make additional adjustment accordingly. Now, in this case, I like the dish a little bit sweeter, so I add additional hoisin sauce. A hoisin sauce has a sweet flavor, and it will make the dish a bit sweeter. As you can see, I only add a very small amount of hoisin sauce. And the goal is that to enhance the natural flavor of the food ingredients. And this is actually what makes home cooking great, because you can control the flavor of your dish in exactly how you like it. Now, as you can see in here, it is the template-based cooking that play a role in allow you to cook this dish without any recipe, because you are familiar with how to stir-fry vegetables. And this familiarity allow you to cook many different kinds of vegetables together. And by knowing the property of the vegetables, you can add them in a specific order that you will like it. And then flavor chasing plays an important role, because by using different combinations of vegetables, you can create different textures, different flavors in the single dish. It will make your dish far more interesting than if you use just 2 or 3 kinds of vegetables. And of course, advanced prepping is absolutely essential, because without advanced prepping, you will not be able to cook this dish in about 8 to 9 minutes, because you will have spend a lot of time just to cut up all the different vegetables. But with advanced prepping, all the vegetables will be available at your fingertip, and you can pick and choose what you'd like to use in this dish. Furthermore, you don't have to worry about use all of it. Now, last but not the least is that I'm going to garnish the dish with some colored bell pepper. Again, make it more interesting. And then I'm going to add the bacon. I put it right on top of the dish. I can guarantee you the bacon will be gone as soon as my wife sits down. She loves bacon. But this makes the dish really interesting and enjoyable. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routines, so you can prepare a meal in less than 30 minutes. Use all fresh ingredients using my fast cooking system. It is important for us to be able to control what we eat, and it is necessary that for us to avoid fast and ultra-processed food. But if you can make home cooking as efficient as possible, and you can also make home cooking fun and creative, you will cook more often. And this is what makes home cooking sustainable that will last your lifetime. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.